Hey there. Welcome to Cottrello Talks. I didn't see you there, but here I am just sipping on my coffee, listening to this cafe music from Paper Mario the Origami King. My name is Michael. I'm joined by Matthew, my twin brother, player 2 since the womb. Say hello, Matthew.
Hello.
He's been playing a lot of Smite lately. Austin, hello.
Hey there.
How are you? You just got done getting his teeth kicked in Fortnite. Trevor.
Yo!
Darth Yoctus himself.
What up? Yak, in the building.
Today, the subject we're going over is one that will probably get us content ID'd on YouTube, but we're not in the monetization program on our Cottrello Talks channel anyway, so who cares? Which is a good indication that you should subscribe if you like the content. We make good stuff there. I think you'll like it. Once a week, we'll post one on podcasts like this. But anyway, the topic of today is music in games, specifically our 5 favorite tracks. In no particular order, but we're going to kind of DJ through them and talk about the tracks. I use this as kind of a joke, but also as a means to introduce the concept. When I was playing Paper Mario the Origami King, among the massive disappointments in a lot of areas of the game, some of the parts that really I cherish and make me want to go back to the game at some point is stuff like this, where you get into this, you'll just be in the mushroom world and whatever Mario stuff, and you just walk in this door and it's a like a French style cafe with steaming coffee, and you just sit down with a Goomba and just hear each other out, and this calm music plays. It's so cool. I just love the vibe, and music is really powerful in games. It could really bring things up a notch or totally tank them in terms of Crash Insanity, which I guess isn't super fair. Crash to Insanity, it was like acapella music. Not my thing, but yeah, I'm sure for people who like acapella music, it's awesome. Anyway, music is very powerful in games, and I want to talk about all that stuff. So, the way we're going to go round robin style, who wants to talk about a track first?
Let me do it. Let me do it.
And I'll be DJing on the iPad that you can't see because this is a podcast. Trevor, what song are we starting with?
No, man, this is only right that we start with this one, and it's so telling to the storyline of this conversation. Let's start with "Let the Battles Begin," Final Fantasy VII, the battle theme. Come on, Mike.
Why does that?
Because we starting off the battle of this music thing right here. We starting off the conversation. We getting this thing pumping and jumping. You feel me? Knock and let me in. Knock, 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 knock. So this thing right here, it's classic. It's a legendary track. You know, it's one of the most epic like battle music tracks that you can probably ever hear in music. I think it's just something that when you think about Final Fantasy VII, you can't think about Final Fantasy VII without thinking about this track right here. You know, I think, Michael, if it was up to me, I'd have every song up in that thing on there. I like the music in Final Fantasy VII is what Final Fantasy VII is. One of the things that makes Final Fantasy VII like a classic, right? Is the music. Like the music is just it's what we call timeless. It's classic. But I just love this because it really gets you, like, it gets the blood flowing. It really sets the tune and the tone of what like the battling mechanic is in Final Fantasy VII, and just that the system of fighting in that game. So yeah, definitely one of my favorite tracks of all time. So that is Trevor's first favorite track of his top 5 favorite game music tracks. Do you like this
version specifically, or do you like the remake one more?
I don't know the difference.
Well, the remake one is like orchestrated.
That's cool.
And not compressed to 90s level game
that's
music.
Cool. I brought up the 90s level one because that's what started the conversation. So, of course I've heard the remake version of it, but I didn't feel like going and comparing between the two. I just wanted to hear the OG one.
I'm going to say it. I like this one more.
Yeah.
I think, it's partially the history, but I also just think, I don't know, sometimes the compression on stuff can be beautiful. There's still Super Nintendo tracks that sound great, or like Genesis tracks, and we'll get into some of those, but yeah, I got a story with this track. So I barely dipped my toes into Final Fantasy VII. I couldn't figure out the pre-rendered backgrounds and how to like move my character through them. But this song is so good that when Matthew and I started getting into brawl hacking, we put this music track on one of our levels. Like, we'd never played Final Fantasy VII, didn't care about the characters, didn't know their names or anything, but like this track just slaps so hard.
I don't actually remember that.
Oh yeah, we had it on one of them. We had some Final Fantasy 13 music too, and like, I'm never gonna play Final Fantasy 13.
I remember there was one Final Fantasy song I used for a Battlefield, but I can't remember. I don't remember using this one at all. Yeah, I don't remember using this one at all.
I put it on the Fire Emblem stage. Fire Emblem has cool music too. But yeah, let's get over to someone new. Austin, you wanna share a track with us?
I'm gonna start with Fallout 3, the main theme.
Fallout 3. I watched. Is this New Vegas or are those two separate games?
Those are separate. So the thing with the Fallout, and it was kind of one of my honorable mentions would be the Fallout 4 theme, because every Fallout game since 3, I haven't played the earlier ones, has had basically the same theme song, but they'll revamp it in one way. So this is like a very grandiose, like, you just hear like this kind of low rumble, and just, you'll hear it in a second, it will come in strong. And then Fallout 4, same song, but they used a piano in it instead of as much of like the orchestra elements. Here we go.
That's cool. Yeah, you can always you can count on Austin for the dose of Xbox culture, because none of us really grew up on Xbox.
Yeah, I kind of, that's what we did over here in Missouri growing up when I wasn't around you guys. Is now back to Xbox country.
Western RPGs are super cool, and Xbox was the home for them. I played Knights of the Old Republic, but just never got into like Skyrim or Fallout. But I've always heard good things, and like the style of it.
It's very cinematic. It very much has like the feel of like a movie score, which is funny because those games, particularly the Fallout games, they use a lot of older music. Excuse me, a lot of older music that you
is it set in the 50s, I think?
Yeah, it's like the 50s, so you get a lot of the real old, and then each game is a little bit different. So you have Fallout 3's in Washington, D.C., so it's kind of has that vibe that you'd have in like 50s DC, and then the New Vegas game is of course in Vegas, so it has like this twangy old western like cowboy kind of music to it, which is really cool. So but the theme of it is just it's that good gritty, like grandiose, post-apocalyptic sound for me. So that's my my number 5 if I'm counting down to my number 1.
Yeah.
Oh, is that how we're doing it?
Most of us don't have a particular order, but Austin,
I'm going to do it that way.
Yeah.
But
you know, it's Austin. He's got to be weird. Matthew, what track you want to share with us?
What's the name of it? It's the one I sent you for Tropical Freeze, Island Swing.
This is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze DK Island Swing. If you listen closely,
so this was the
you can hear it coming.
Yeah, well, this was the music they played in the reveal trailer for Tropical Freeze, which is a remake or remix of Jungle Hijinks, like the original Donkey Kong Country track. But I remember this announcement took me, Michael, and Trevor by complete surprise, because we just didn't expect, a sequel to Returns to be. That's what Retro Studios was working on, and it's like my favorite version of Jungle Hijinks. It's like super orchestrated and. All the... I don't know. It just was a really special music track to me. And they ended up using this track...
Sorry.
They ended up using this music track in like the hardest tempo levels, which originally this was the music track that played in the very first level. Because when Trevor and I did the demo in the Mangrove Swamp level, this is the music track that played, but then they changed it to the really hard tempo levels. But... I don't know, just a really special music track to me because it's my favorite, game franchise, obviously. Favorite game character is Donkey Kong, and I don't know. I just, David Wise doesn't normally do remixes, but he did it for this track and a few others, and just a beautiful music track to me. I love how it doesn't sound electronic at all, or artificial. It's like real instruments, But
this is a great song. I love it.
Yeah, it's cool because this is a theme that he created in, what was it, 94 when Donkey Kong Country came out, and now he's revisiting it like 20 years later. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
but of course, Tropical Freeze, amazing game, best platformer ever, probably best music in a platformer.
Well, I think that's
maybe
the
best
thing
music ever.
Yeah, I think that's the thing too. Is this was kind of the main track tied to maybe the greatest 2D platformer of all time. So, I don't know. I always used to love doing, like, when you and I were playing through the game and we would do those hard, like, excruciatingly hard tempo levels and this music track's playing. It was just so epic. Like, this plays on Bopopolis, the one where you bounce off all the enemies to stay in the air, and it's just totally epic.
Epic indeed. All right, let's move on to my first pick. Trevor, what character do you think it features?
A Pokemon? Oh, Luigi?
No, it's another Donkey Kong track. Get ready!
Diddy!
So this one is from the other famed Donkey Kong composer, Grant Kirkthrope, who also did the music. I don't know how to say his name, but you know him. He did the Banjo-Kazooie music. He got famous, and so I step into this Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom battle. I love the original game, and then there's a Donkey Kong expansion. Like, my boy, where's Diddy Kong? But like, okay, I'll forgive you because I'm playing Donkey Kong Tactics RPG. I'm just like, it's exactly everything I like. I like Donkey Kong, I like RPG, and I like tactics. So I'm very excited about this, and I get into the battle, and then this plays? Like, this game has no business having music this good, but this theme plays when you're getting into this battle, and it's like, it's got this interesting mix of whimsy and warfare, where like you're just bopping these Rabbids, putting them into the ground literally as Donkey Kong, smushing them into a ball and then throwing them at each other, and the music just has this like presence and this oomph, my boy, that I just have not heard in a long time in like Nintendo's lineup of music, and so I think it was a really cool decision to get him onto this project, and very excited to see him come back for the Rabbids sequel. But like, listen to this. We got the other instruments coming in.
I'm surprised you didn't pick the. I'm surprised you like this one better. See, to me, the track I really loved from this was the Jungle Joust is one of them. That one's just pure epicness. But the remix of the DK Isles from Donkey Kong 64, that's like my favorite track from that game. That one is
you can't really go wrong. I mean, and like this DLC pack is almost just worth it playing it just to hear the music. Because yeah, the Jungle Joust is like kind of another rendition of that song we just heard, and that's like really good and really powerful. The remix is awesome, but this was the one that, especially just being like a completely new thing, not inspired. Just, this is a Rabbids Kingdom Battle Donkey Kong Adventure track, and it's just got its own thing going on, and it's the one that I keep coming back to when I'm just like, trying to jam out doing some dishes or whatever, and I'm just like blown away by how good it sounds. I mean, look, come on.
Yeah, the trumpets.
That's hard. That's hard.
Yeah, but I still like those other two way better, though. I don't know. This one's like all right to me. It's a really good music track, but just comparatively speaking, I feel like the other two blow it away.
Well, that's why it's Michael's favorite. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're just having that conversation.
They're different. They're different vibes. Like, 'cause the DK Isle music plays in the overworld while you're just like collecting puzzles and stuff, and then the Jungle Joust happens, I think, in a mini boss battle. This one is like one of the first tracks you hear in the game. I don't know. Just find it really special. It's definitely my favorite from the game. But let's loop back around to Trevor.
Yeah.
Where are we going?
Listen, man. I'm going to go ahead.
Definitely the Fortnite lobby theme.
Of course, man. Of course. You know me. I'm actually going to go, the thing I talk about in every episode. I'm going to go the Pokemon route, right? Michael, he used to have this thing, this ancient item called action replay. And you were able to on my Pokemon Emerald, I was able to go to any like place with it, and I was able to go on this island that you can only get to through an Eon ticket that you had to get from a special event back in the day or something, right? To get a special Latios or Latias in the game. And when I got on there, the first thing I noticed on this island was the music. Now, the one that Michael is playing right now is actually the forbidden blasphemous game called Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire version of it. It's a slowed down version of that track I heard when I was a teenager, and I like the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire version of it a little bit more. I like the slowed down like do 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 do.
It kind of sounds like a Sonic Mega Collection track, but
I like it.
The vibe of it. Yeah, I really like it too. I think this is exactly how far I got into the game. Is this the island where you find Latias or Os?
Yeah, it's on the southern island where you
which you just go to automatically in the 3DS one, right?
Oh yeah. I never got that far, I don't think.
Yeah, that's exactly where I stopped. I was like, all right, I've had enough of this Mega Evolution tainting one of my favorite games.
But this is something that made me feel like, even though I'm like, oh man, I shouldn't have been able to get on this island, it made me feel good to like find out this hidden gem, this secret right here. Like, wow, look at this music, or wow, look at this island where like only very few people can access it. I just think it's cool. Like, I love it. It's like my favorite Pokemon track.
That's very cool. Yerp indeed. That was a shorty one.
That's the only thing I liked about Omega Ruby and Sapphire, unfortunately, probably. It's this track.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with that. Like, fun Pokemon fact for your boy Michael. It's the only Pokemon game I haven't brought myself to finish. I've beaten every one of them probably multiple times, gotten the Pokédex filled in multiple entries, and I just cannot bring myself to play through this one. Someday. But I don't know. I didn't really like Gen 6 was probably the weakest game in the entire series, and then kind of mushing that together with Gen 3, it kind of broke my heart. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I like the legendaries having like a Mega Evolution of their own. They made them kind of cool, but Mega Evolutions period just kind of killed it a little bit that generation. Now I would differ. I think the one I never played through was what's the Sun and Moon when the cool sun, cool moon.
I'm not talking about like second versions. It is Sun and Moon with like 5 hours of content chunked on the end of it. But Sun and Moon was still like, at least it was like very technically impressive. It's incredible that they got that running on a 3DS, and then Sword and Shield looks like another 3DS game.
Yeah,
much better.
Yeah.
Anyway, Austin, hit us with another nerd track.
All right, next nerd track coming right up. It is from Elder Scrolls.
The Elder Scrolls.
Or Oblivion, Reign of the Septims.
Wait, can I just voice over this real quick? Cottrello Games, the legion of Xbox fans descends upon them in Fortnite. Gentlemen,
oh, so good. Listen to that. Listen to that.
Swords. Prepare your peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, for we shall go on a quest. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, thanks for voicing over the best part of the song. No, it's good. So Elder Scrolls 4, this is another one coming from Bethesda that, like Skyrim, a lot of people will recognize it, sounds just like it, but Skyrim has like this this kind of deep chanting choir, but this is actually my favorite one, and I'll like be humming it sometimes. I'm like, is that... What am I? I'm like, this is Pirates of the Caribbean, right? No?
It does sound like Pirates
Lord
of the
Rings,
Caribbean.
no? And I'm like, no, that is freaking Elder Scrolls, man. And it's just super solid. It's like, to me, I hear that, and I'm like, I'm going on a quest. This is, in Oblivion was the first Elder Scroll and really the first RPG game that I really got into. And I remember I was at a friend's house, and he pulled up the menu, and like the game started, and I was like, what is this madness? And I was hooked ever since. So this song has a special place. Waldorf was born that day.
Of Waldorf the Wise?
It was not actually, but it was the conception of Waldorf the Wise, and the birth was Dark Souls later on.
Waldorf the Wise.
Waldorf. But yeah, great song, very epic.
Of Waldorf the Wise.
You know,
he
just,
once had a spoon that he imprinted his soul onto. One man to find and use in his cereal, only to activate the rune inside and reveal Waldorf had come back to life.
gosh.
Are you done? Are you finished?
Yeah, I got. At some point, I got to show you. Like, I did like a test run of Skyward Sword, and during I like read the Zelda games. Oh, voiceover is lame. But I like voiced it over with that sort of tenor, and it was pretty funny. Matthew, shall I go to the next one down on the list?
Yeah.
Time for
Do
a
it.
little
The
melee.
Oh yeah.
Dude, this music track is so special to me. Honestly, like in Smash, this is the theme. Like even with Ultimate, even in Smash 4, even in Brawl, this was the menu theme I set up to play the most frequently. Like there was just something about this theme, man. When you just heard it, you just knew it was about to go down. We were about to have a ton of fun, whether it's competitive 1-on-1 or competitive 2-on-2, free for all, items on, however you want to do it. It's such a special music track, man. It's so simple, and I really miss Melee because Melee is far and away my favorite Super Smash Bros. Game, and one of my favorite games of all time. But I just miss the simplicity of like you look at the menu in Melee, and it's just such a sleek design, easy to navigate. There's not these weird like shapes and squares and rectangles like there is in the other Smash menus, and they all have like cute pictures on them. No, it's just a sleek looking menu that just looks like you're in some like computer getting ready to pit Nintendo's All-Stars against each other. You know, it's just, I don't know, man. This menu theme is just everything to me. Like, I can listen to it on repeat, and it's like comfort food for me at this point. Because it's so short, too. You know, it's not this, you have to wait for like a minute and a half in to get to the hook or anything like that. It's just, I don't know, man. Just simplicity at its finest.
Yeah, Melee was the best. Yeah, it's like I like different parts of other Smash games, but it's hard to look back at this one and not be like, wow, this was something special.
This game and this song is like the most bonding for like my relationship with you guys, even though we're cousins. Like this was like the core of our childhood together. Whenever we visit, is like Melee just basically on all the time.
Melee! Yeah, you
So
remember
good.
there would be days, man, where we would set up matches and play with 99 stocks and we would just play for hours and hours and hours. And same thing with Michael, Trevor, and our friend David and I. We used to just play. That's when we started getting into the competitive aspect, like learning some of the advanced techniques like wave dashing and L canceling and crouch canceling, all these different things. And like that's just when our eyes were opened, and we played this game for like when Brawl was coming out. I don't know if you guys remember Michael and Trevor, but we would just stay up till like 6 or 7 in the morning playing this game almost every day because we'd wait for those Brawl updates to come at like 3 in the morning. So that was a pretty crazy summer. But just with all of you guys on here, like this music track has just been it's so special to me. Like it just brings back nothing but fantastic memories. Like Melee might be one of my biggest nostalgia trips of any video game. So yeah,
and it just holds up. That's the cool thing about the GameCube generation is that the graphics are good enough to really kind of stand the test of time. They don't look hideous like N64 graphics, and and like this is the first time that Smash had an orchestra. Many Nintendo soundtracks at all had an actual orchestra doing the music, and it's kind of like that Donkey Kong track that I had last time. It's got whimsy and power and presence at the same time, where it's like you don't take it too seriously, but there's definitely something going down.
Yeah, no, I just like I said, I mean, whether it's with Nathan, Austin, and Taylor, and you, Michael, and us, or whether it's with me, you, Trevor, and David, like whenever this music track came on, like I said, you just knew like oh snap, it's going down, man. We're about to have a good time. Like it just, it was just great, man.
Indeed. Going back to the Nintendo Switch, I'm going to take you guys to a place you've never been before and you never will go. So
Narnia?
Enjoy this peek into my realm. The place is the Fodlan Lands. It's Fire Emblem Three Houses. This track is called "Tearing Through Heaven," and it plays on the Blue Lions route. If you're familiar with the game with Dimitri.
Yes, the Blue Lions.
Yeah, it's a house. It's like Harry Potter. But I just love this track. It tactics games have you listening to the same music for a long time. I mean, when you're playing on the harder difficulties and you're trying to like get through the game without your units dying, it's like you're listening to this for probably like 60 minutes at a time, and it just does not get old to me. Like I love the music that they have here, and it will dynamically shift in the game as you're playing it as well. Let me see if I can get an example of that. But this plays on the overworld map while you're deciding all your turns and stuff. And then when you enter into a fight with someone, it'll switch over to this like more like drummy version of it. But yeah, anyway, I really like Fire Emblem Three Houses music. It's all solid, but this is the one that stands out to me the most in what I enjoy about that game of just like, where I was talking about Donkey Kong Rabbids being like, a whimsical warfare. This is the kind where there's stabby weapons and people die. Which I've always liked about Fire Emblem, like people actually die in the gameplay. Like they're not just like disappearing, they don't respawn. Like no, your guys can die. And so everything has like a bit more weight in there. But yeah, that's Fire Emblem Three Houses. I know you guys will never play it, but you should.
Yeah.
I know Smash has sucked the life out of your interest in that franchise, but, I get it. I mean,
it's not really something that interests me even outside of Smash. I'm just not into... I know it's not a JRPG, but it's like, it looks and feels exactly like one, and it's not my style of game, But... Yep.
Moving on. I gotta take a potty break, guys. I am struggling to hold back. My bladder's about to tear through heaven.
That's funny.
Oh man.
Everybody's here and ready to go?
Yeah, I just put pizza in the oven. Yeah, I just pictured you, he said my bladder's about to tear through heaven. I pictured like a big, like I don't know, line of piss just tearing through the heavens.
That's what happened. Just like the Reveal trailer where he cut through the sky. Cool moment in the game. Sad moment in Smash. I get this off my chest. Like, Smash has ruined Fire Emblem for so many people where, like, to a certain extent, like, I think Melee got people interested in Smash with Roy and Marth, and then they were just like, it's like force feeding you a large amount of raw vegetables, broccoli specifically, where it leaves a gas behind, and you're just, I don't want it anymore. But anyway, so Trevor, take us to another musical land. Where are we going next?
Man, I gotta take this before Austin ends up taking it or something. So I gotta go to this thing that definitely is, to this day, is my favorite of its kind. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, Song of Healing song, my guy. The main song for Majora's Mask. Talk to me, baby. Talk to me. Yes. You feel that spirit? Do you feel
creepy?
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't want to die, Trevor.
You gotta
do. I'm not ready yet.
No, but that's what I liked about it.
This plays, the first time you hear this song, correct me if I'm wrong, is right when the moon's about to make impact, right?
Right.
Oh,
I think so.
Majora's Mask is the, like, just don't even talk to me. The best story of any Zelda game. Best vibe, best, like, villain design, like, get out of here with this Breath of the Wild is it's Ganon's spirit. He's angry. He's a sludge monster. No. Yeah, Ocarina of Time, Ganondorf. Okay, you got me there. That's pretty compelling. But this, my boy, the impending sense of doom with the moon coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Trevor's song. I was like taking over there because I love it so much.
Yeah, because look, you hear so much in it. You hear the pain, you hear the doom, you hear the terror, but you also hear a sense of hope in it too. And I think it just really is representative of the story itself. It pulls at the heartstrings, and that's what it's about. And the story itself, the reason why we're talking about Majora's Mask is because it did it different. It was like a sequel to Ocarina of Time, but it didn't just piggyback off of Ocarina of Time. It was Link's own story. They did something different, and everybody's like the tunes that you hear in this sound, right? Every instrument means something. Every instrument has a part to play. All of the stories interweave into his story, and they all matter in the end. You can't get the deity outfit without getting all of the masks in the game and receiving everyone else's story. And I don't know. Anyway, this song in itself, I can't think about my favorite Legend of Zelda game without thinking about this song. Like it really gets me. It's one of those things that when I'm near a piano, I try to play it. Do 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 do. Like, you know, when a song does that to me, that means it has me. And this song has me. You know, ever since like age 8. Like I've loved this song. So yeah, no, definitely top 5 of all time for me. The song of healing. Heal, everybody. Let's heal together. Let's heal.
Yeah. Austin, have you played through this game?
I have not beaten it, but I played through a good chunk of it, and then I stopped playing for like a week, and you forget how it all works.
Yeah, it's a pretty hard game. It's not very approachable. Like the time concept is kind of hard to understand. Because I'm not gonna lie. So if you don't know Majora's Mask, you have a certain amount of time until the moon makes impact and it's game over. Which is such a cool concept. It's
30 minutes, correct?
I think it's got like it's 3 days in the game, but like telling the time like in real time is kind of weird. I beat the first dungeon with the Deku Scrub and couldn't make it back to town in time before the world ended. So I had to like redo a bunch of stuff. But that is such a special game, and it's one of those few Zelda games where something different happens. It's not just Triforce, Ganon, Zelda, Link, Arrow of Light. And I know that like thematically history repeats itself, but like, you know, sometimes we need a little diversity in our history, my boy.
And
like,
that's the one time it did it, and that's the one time it really and truly did that.
I think it's the only time for a mainline Zelda game. There's spin-offs like, you know, of Oracle of Ages and such that have different stories, but yeah, I think it's the only mainline Zelda game to have a different story than Ganondorf, Triforce, Link, Zelda.
Yeah,
Light
it
Force.
expands the universe of Zelda so much because, I mean, if you take out Majora's Mask, it's kind of a very hollow game. It's like, oh, this thing's just going to repeat itself over and over.
Vanilla. And like, I get that that's like the point in a lot of respects, but, you know, I think Majora's Mask really showed us the range that the Zelda universe had, that it wasn't just this place of like light medieval themes, but that these fish people had families and jobs, and they had loss when they lost their life, and really just connected things in such an interesting way. Gorons eat rocks, though. It's just a fun fact for you guys.
And that's the thing about it, and that's also the cool thing about this song is you play this song to heal people's pain. That's why they call it the song of healing. Like usually when he plays this song, that's when their pain is relieved, their spirits are able to move on, and they drop that mask, and he can embody those spirits. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how deep and dope that is? I love this song, man. I love it so much. It's really incredible. It really sets the tone of what that game is and and how amazing it is to this day. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about it. So, yeah, shout out to it.
For sure. All right, Austin, next track, is it the In Case of Trouble?
It is In Case of Trouble from a little indie game called Bastion. Released back in 2011. I actually hadn't heard of the game. Until I actually had somebody. I heard of the music from the game before I heard of the game, and then went and played the game. But it is an incredible soundtrack.
Yeah, this is an interesting studio. I think this is Supergiant, right? Yeah. I played Transistor all the way through, and they just had another home run with Hades. But Bastion was, I think, the first game that really put them on the map. It's kind of Zelda-like in its gameplay and appearance, but yeah, I haven't ever given it a shot myself. It's one of those games that I've always known about and heard about. I'm like, I should play that sometime. And just never got around to it.
So this is the song I picked, but man, the entire soundtrack is just incredible. And there's a couple tracks that have some vocals in it, and it's just it blew me away. And it was refreshing also that I heard the track and I was like, this is great. And I started listening to it long before I played the game, and then playing the game was not a letdown. Playing the game, it matched the way it sounds and just the vibe. It has this it's not post-apocalyptic. It's this more whimsical, desert kind of. There's this sense of you're stranded and I don't know. It kind of has this kind of the Pokemon Coliseum when you're out in the desert kind of feeling. But anyways, yeah, it is. I would recommend listening to the whole soundtrack, but it is great.
Yeah, I'm reading in the YouTube comment here that allegedly the guy who made this music recorded all of them in an apartment in New York with a bunk bed and a blanket for dampening, which is awesome.
Yeah,
that was real in those New York apartments.
I was about to say that is truly representative of New York and the struggle, bro. I respect it.
Yeah, where your home might just be a bedroom. Which I gotta say, I was gonna live in New York at a certain crossroad in my life, and we were seriously looking at a $2,000 a month, 250 square foot place. The bathroom was in the kitchen, my boy.
Man.
But yeah, cool song. I'm a big fan of Supergiant. I'll have to get this game a shot at some point.
It's a good one.
Matthew's revising his answers, so I gotta search this.
Just click the link, or I guess.
Well, not on the iPad that belongs to my wife. It doesn't get my text messages, and I've never bought an iPad because I just can't think of a reason that I would ever use it except for fringe use cases like playing music in a podcast, which I've only done once in my life.
You can play Fruit Ninja too, or Doodle Jump.
my daughter's been playing.
You heard me.
Doodle Jump. You hear that Kevin Durant? Doodle Jump. But no, this is a good track. Let's play it. I got it right?
Yeah, well, it sounds like it's sped up. I don't know. Well, I mean, regardless, this is the first music you hear in Star Fox 64 for Corneria. And I forgot that this was one of my favorite music tracks because it just really sets the tone for the game where... Oh,
wait.
What are you doing?
Hold on. I'm trying to find the one that you were talking about now that you're saying it doesn't sound right. Let's make sure we get it to sound right. This is the better version of Corneria, if we're being honest, but I'll let you have your thing.
No, just search for the extended Star Fox 64.
I got it. I got the one that you sent me.
Yeah, so what I was saying, though, is... or I guess I'll just start over. This is the opening theme for Corneria for Star Fox 64, and, a lot of people like the other Corneria theme better. It's more upbeat, it's more fun, but this just set this really dark and horrific tone for me that, Corneria is being destroyed by Andross's army, and there's a war going on, the Lilat Wars, and I don't know, it just set the tone for the game that this is really intense, this really matters, the stakes are really high, and especially for a Nintendo game, it felt really tonally just very serious, and I liked that. I always just thought this track was so I don't know, it was just really epic to me.
I like
because
how it's paced, how it's very calm at first, and it gradually builds up.
Yeah, and when you get to Corneria, city's being attacked and everything's being destroyed, and you're flying in to basically, save the city, and then you start making your way through the Lilat system to get to Andros and everything like that. But this game just had some incredible music, man. It's one of the most underrated OSTs of all time, I think. Like, when you just think about tracks like Venom, like the Asteroid Belt, like I'm trying to think of some others. I know you really like the music for this game, Michael, but...
Oh, yeah. Star Fox 64, and do not mince my words here, gentlemen. Star Fox 64 is the best 64 game. Write that on my tombstone. It is the best 64 game. It stands up exactly as tall as it did originally if you go back and play it. It's better than any Star Fox game they made after it. And the music is definitely part of that. And even with this like heavy Nintendo 64 compression for the sound, like it still comes out sounding wonderful. And really just gives the vibe of these like space wars that our furry friends are in. And I could just hear the guys talking in my head, or just, I found a shortcut, follow me. Just like all those like little quotes.
Yeah,
like,
Falco.
You'll never defeat Andros.
Yeah, well, that's the other great music track
gosh.
from this game is, I forgot about the boss battle one, the dun 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 dun. That one's so good. Starwolf's theme is amazing. Like, there's just so much good music from, like I said, like a lot of people when they talk about great OSTs, they mention the likes of like Donkey Kong Country, Zelda, Final Fantasy, things like that. I'm like, man, I'd put Star Fox like pound for pound up there with any of those.
Oh, yeah.
Because like literally every track in that game is a banger, dude.
As a huge Star Wars fan too, growing up, when I played Star Fox for the first time on 64 and heard it, it was like, for me, it fit the game really well. So it didn't feel like it was trying to be Star Wars, but I was like, man, I can get into this. And it just has this like, there's like always urgency in the track, especially this one.
Oh yeah, well, you think about like Venom, especially when you get to Venom, it's just like that, man, where there's this upbeat, or it's kind of like a really dark like music track, like and I don't know, I just remember just when you're getting to Andros, it's so creepy and it's so unnerving. And I remember as a kid I was terrified of Andros.
Oh yeah, he swallows your entire ship and chews on it. Like, he's terrifying.
This was my favorite part of the music track.
The secret form of Andros is not as scary though, but that's
this was my favorite part of the music track, when it just kind of keeps building up. But
super cool. Did you ever play Star Fox 64, Trevor?
I did.
How's that pizza?
It tastes delicious. No, I dibbled and dabbled in it. Like, my cousins absolutely played it. Like the demos they used to have in stores and stuff like that. I used to do that, like in the game stores and stuff. I like played the demo a couple of times, but
it's definitely a good pick up and play game.
I'm gonna be honest, I never really consumed this song before, but this track is pretty epic. I'm not even gonna lie, it's pretty good, man. Nice, way to go, Matthew.
Way to go, Mom. Star Fox, best 64 game. I mean, don't even try and argue with me.
There's actually like tracks that are way more popular from this game. Like I said, if you pick the boss battle theme, that might be one of the most, like, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, that might have to be on my top 5 too. Or like I said, Starwolf, like the remakes they did for Starwolf and Star Fox Zero is nuts, dude. That's one thing about Star Fox Zero that I hate about that game not being well received. The music in it, the remixes they did are like amazing. Like the Asteroid Belt one is like just so epic beyond what you would expect. So anyway,
well, picking it up with more furry animals and the music that accompanies them, we're gonna go back to Donkey Kong Country 2, Mining Melancholy. So you hear about Donkey Kong Country 2's music all the time. Mostly you hear about Bramble Blast, which is a gorgeous track in its own right. You hear about Forest Interlude, which is awesome. But this is the one that really gets me. Like, who hasn't played this game in the room?
I mean, obviously you and I have played it a million times. I don't think Austin
have you played this game?
I don't. If I've played it, I haven't played it all the way through.
So, like, what's happening in this one is there's all these crocodile pirates that are stuck in the coal mines, mining resources for the king, and you're rolling through there, and there's this like misery and monotony to the track, and then it just picks up in tone as you move through. And I just love this track so much, and the levels that they happen in are really intense. They've got crystals kind of glowing, but you've got pirates throwing hooks at you. You've got birds trying to take you out in the sky, and I just this whole soundtrack is absolutely fantastic. But this is the song that I've been recently coming back to a lot, where it just has this weird vibe. Listen to this part that's coming up, where they've got like a vocal track in a Super Nintendo song. Like, what is that?
Oh man, David Wise is a musical genius, man.
It sounds like coal miners kind of like crying out. It's just one of the most like miserable, difficult jobs that have ever existed. In
one of the most miserable and difficult levels in the game.
I like these levels.
No, they are fun. The ones where you're like floating on the wind, and the animations for Diddy Kong are pretty awesome in that. But what's a funny fact about this song? I don't know if you've heard this. I'm sure you have, Michael. But this, in the official soundtrack for this game, this music track didn't have a name, and DK Vine is actually the one that came up with the name Mining Melancholy, and so it's kind of just stuck. But originally, this didn't have an official name. And when the Game Boy Advance remake came out, they called it Cannon's Claim, was the music track, Cannon with a K.
Interesting.
But yeah, that was never the official name of the track. It kind of became that because of DK Vine, which is pretty hilarious.
Yeah, that is funny.
But yeah, I love how you can hear the like the mining
it's almost
that's
like
going on.
Pickaxes hitting crystals, yeah.
Yeah, it's like they're doing it in a rhythm. Like, I remember at the beginning of, I think, The Hobbit, there's some song like that where the dwarves are, like, mining, and I'm like, this is like Mining Melancholy, Like, they're just making a song with the sound effects for mining. Like, it's just cool.
Yeah, which, that's basically Lord of the Rings is a poor man's Donkey Kong Country 2.
Yeah.
Exactly,
basically. Yeah, instead of going to Mordor, they're going to Crocodile Isle. Which is,
man, sometimes
what's that should be a Cottrello Talks. Where would you want to go? Crocodile Isle, Mordor?
Man, yeah, that's funny. All right, so let's go to our next place. Trevor, take us to some other RPG-ish game.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that.
It's a funny thing. I'm seeing a lot of your choices are RPG games.
Kingdom Hearts.
Listen, man, even though my perspective has absolutely changed on the outcome of that game, I would be remiss not to have a song from it. And I picked, as Michael knows, I picked Kyrie's theme.
This is pretty. I really like the title crawl for Kingdom Hearts. I find it so mesmerizing. Kyrie.
Kyrie Irving's theme.
Yeah, like this is the first version of it. You see, it's mad simple, but it's like it just does something. It just kind of pulls at the, and it really represents like kind of who Kyrie is. It's just innocent, just kind of sparkle.
You're right. It does. It does do something. It makes me want to play a different game. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, hate it. Like no,
Kingdom Hearts music slaps.
It does.
It's the number one thing that draws me into those games, because I think about mainly the title theme is just so good.
Oh my gosh!
See, I hate the title theme. You're talking about the dun 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 dun. That slow,
it's awesome.
I don't like it.
Do you have a soul, Matthew?
Yeah, right.
No, I remember
when joy in your heart.
I remember when I was playing that Dream Drop Distance game for something I was doing, and Trevor let me borrow that, and that's the theme you hear in that, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know who hurt you in life, and I apologize for that person.
I don't know what anime character hurt you with a giant key.
No, I mean, I don't know. There's just nothing. I mean, it's just sometimes I like simple songs, but that one's just so. I don't know. It doesn't do anything for me.
Hey, man, listen, I got you, man. Go back to the land of crystal coconut. Over here, we're appreciating this fire music. No, man, perspective is perspective, and I just like how simplistic and just how deep it is at the same time. Like, I love what this song does to me, and a lot of those songs do that too. It was hard for me to pick, because the main theme song, that's one of those ones I play around on the piano with as well. But it was kind of along the same lines as like Song of Healing to me, when I think of songs that really just stood out for me when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, definitely the Kyrie theme. And I sent Michael another one too, like the later versions of Kingdom Hearts. They have like different versions of these songs as well, and they have a later version where it's like a more up tempo beat with like a bop. Like so, I love Kyrie's iterations of her songs in Kingdom Hearts. I think it's really I don't know, it's representative of the best side of Kingdom Hearts, which is the music. The story obviously needs some work.
Well, I think, yeah, but what I do think that Kingdom Hearts really nails is like that feeling of mystique and wonder at like, what is this all about? Now, I think the big problem is that the payoff is, the payoff's not great by any stretch of the imagination, but no, I mean, when I think of Kingdom Hearts, I really think of that first act of the game where you start on those stained glass portraits of the Disney princesses. You have no idea what's going on. You're on this island. You find a weird door and someone falls through it. Like, I love all that stuff with Kingdom Hearts. Yeah. And they really accentuate that with the music.
Yeah.
But I just think the scope of that story got way too big for anybody to like land.
Yeah. Well, They got off the ground. They ascended. Okay, they got the plane off the ground. It's like, oh man, this is a nice flight. And just, I think they kind of got so high up, they just, they unfortunately crashed it. But this was a part of the start of it, and I think it just really represents what that game is, or what it intended to be, which this game about innocence embarking upon the world. And I think a song like this kind of represents that and it exemplifies it, and that's why I rock with it a lot. Even though I don't connect with the character Kyrie that much, I definitely connect with this song, and it makes me want to connect with that character in the story so much more. So that's why I picked it.
Yeah, it's funny. I feel like what happened with Kingdom Hearts is that they planned on making it a trilogy, and it sold too much, so they had to create new games, which means they had to create new branches of the story, which means they had to like include those characters in the finale, and
which means they had to convolute the story.
Turned into a Naruto plot where like you're getting to the end and you're like, what's your name again? Shokamaru? Ponytail guy with the green vest? What's your ninja power again? Who?
Anyway. So you didn't know, Mike? Everybody in the organization has like an X in their name. You get it?
Yes. Yeah, it's just the 13 more characters I don't care about.
Yeah. Axel.
Like they really should have kept it at the core of like Disney villains. Sora, Riku, Kairi. Would have been cooler if Riku ended up as like a true villain. But
or the anti-hero. I like anti-heroes. Anti-heroes cool so long as you keep them as an anti-hero. Don't make everybody a hero. Then what is, what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I think
you got to balance it out.
Characters have to make tough choices when you're having to like ice your childhood friend to save the world. Like that'd be a really powerful story, especially as children. But what do I know?
I'm with you. Listen,
just a man who couldn't bear to finish the first game.
The first one. Oh, come on. I had to finish the first one. I couldn't finish the second one, but that's a whole nother story. Don't kill me in the comments.
The only one I finished was Chain of Memories.
Your Chain of Memories.
Which I guess was kind of like finishing the first one, but with cool sprite graphics. Graphics.
Me and Michael believe Chain of Memories is the best Kingdom Hearts game. Go ahead, like and subscribe and comment and tell us how crazy we are. But we like Chain of Memories. Okay.
Yeah, I might be crazy for that, but but I don't know. I liked it. The card aspects were weird, but what can I say? I'm a sucker for sprite graphics and for a story that doesn't overstay its welcome.
And you can play with Riku.
And it's kind of a fun way to rediscover the story of the first game, to have it like happen in a different order. All right, let's move on to another track here. I believe it's Austin. We're going to the moon. It seems
we're going to the moon, and not with Dogecoin, but with Ducktales. So I've never played this game, and I've discovered it over the past few years. And when I heard this, it was just like video game caffeine brain injection. Just like I was like, I could take on the world. And I don't know what it is about it, but it starts to make my like creative engines go in my brain, and it pumps me up. And I found on YouTube there is, I think the one I sent you is a 10-hour loop of this song, and I've listened to probably a sitting of 3 hours in one time while I'm working, and it just does not get old for me. it's just so, I don't know, it just kind of like embodies to me like that retro gaming sound. Like it just wraps it into one music track for me, and I could listen to the full 10 hours.
Yeah, Ducktales is an awesome game. I played the remastered version maybe like 2 years ago. So Capcom did the original game, and then WayForward did the remake. It's a really solid team's doing it. But yeah, music coming from probably from Capcom. The composer's Jake Kaufman. I don't know what else he's done, but Ducktales is such an awesome game. Have you ever played it, Trevor?
No, but I'm surprised I haven't, because I love DuckTales.
Yeah, well, it originally came in in the NES days, so little before your time at that point. But yeah, I just playing it. That's where the what's it called? The inspiration for Shovel Knight's pogo move came from.
Not only that,
So,
Cranky Kong's pogo move with his cane.
Yes. So I mean, just a really, really cool game by Capcom. One of the best licensed games ever, I think. But yeah, this guy seems like he's still doing. Maybe WayForward was involved in the original development, because he's doing. This same composer is doing a lot of the music for. They're doing Cyber Shadow, Shantae, so like a lot of those like kind of indie flavored games. He also did the soundtrack to Godzilla Domination, Matthew. The Game Boy Godzilla.
Yeah.
I love that one so much.
It's a lot of fun.
And Shrek, Ogres, and Donkeys.
Oh, that's a classic right there.
All right, so let's move on to Matthew's pick, and you're reversing your choice again.
No,
I see.
that's for the last. No, that's for the last track.
Okay, that's for the last one.
We're gonna go. You take us north, Michael, to the frozen tundra of the northern hemisphere.
Cremisphere.
So this is the first track you hear when you get to the snow world in Donkey Kong Country. Gorilla Glacier is the name of the world. This is one of the most epic music tracks to me of all time. It's just so eerie. It's kind of got this creepy feel to it, and you'll start hearing there's this build-up as it just gets more and more, like, because as you progress through this level, which was crazy for the Super Nintendo, but the storm starts to get stronger, so you get halfway through the level, and then all of a sudden you can't even see the background anymore, and the snow is gusting so hard, and there's more enemies, the level starts to get trickier, but I think it's at this point, like, yeah, once you start to hear this, and then it's just like a slow little... I almost like just want to listen to it, you know, but I don't want to take up too much time.
Yeah,
but it's just a little build up.
Yeah, it'll get there as we chat. Like this level also, you're like trying to make your way through a snowstorm while everything's trying to murder you.
Yeah,
and it's so intense. It's a scary level, because this is where the game starts to get pretty difficult. In terms of, like, you know, the scaling of how hard the levels are. This is where there's a lot of pits you can fall into, a lot of long barrel segments, zingers,
this is
crushes.
This is I think I had to help Trevor with this level, if I'm not mistaken, but I can't remember. But I love this part of the music track though. But yeah, it's just this to me is one of the best music tracks that just fits the tone of a level so well. Like, if you play this level, it just feels like it makes complete sense.
When usually game soundtracks take like a couple of fun riffs and loop them, but this is going in 500 different directions, and I'm just like here for the journey.
Yeah,
it's so
but
good.
That's what that level feels like. It feels like you're literally, you know, climbing Mount Everest, but imagine it being, you know, where there's all these like dangerous enemies that are coming after you at the same time, and the snowstorm's as vicious as it could be. Or it starts off pretty calm, and then it just starts to pick up, and I just love that journey that you take with this level in this music track in general, and that's why it's one of my favorite levels from the first game. So I just always remember, I mean, and really there's a lot of those moments in that first game, but this is really where it officially was like, man, this just feels really intense.
Oh yeah, fantastic game, fantastic soundtrack. I feel like this soundtrack really changed game music for forever. Like, I mean, the level of atmosphere and storytelling that David Wise's music brings. Like, I would love to do an experiment at some point and just like put someone in headphones that's never played any Donkey Kong game and just like have them guess at what's happening. I feel like you hear this and like you can see the snowstorm, you can see the struggle, you can see the despair that's setting in, but this like subtle sense of hope that's bringing you into every next step as you reach the summit. It's insane.
Well, you remember too when because they play this track in the third level is the third level of Gorilla Glacier as well with Espresso. And it's like once it gets to this part of the music track, that's where you have the Mankeys that are throwing the barrels at you from like that giant slope. And so you're having to dodge these barrels and there's claptraps on the ground. And it's just epic, dude.
Epic indeed. All right, let's move on to the next track. You know I had to bring my boy in here.
Yeah, with, I heard it because you accidentally...
best tracks. Well, I'm going to edit the podcast so people won't hear it, so, you know... But here we go. Strike the earth! The plains of passage. Same composer as Ducktales Remastered brings us Shovel Knight. This is the first level that you find yourself in, and I'm just like, the caffeine setting into my veins, the power... The shovelry. My boy, I'm digging. I'm jumping on people with a shovel. I've got armor on. I am a shovel knight. But I just like remember playing this for the first time. And I like loosely followed the Kickstarter. I didn't give them money. I just was like, yeah, I'll play it when it comes out. It looks cool. And this level blew me away. Just like the fast-paced nature of the music and just how they really nailed the 8 to 16-bit aesthetic, like just better than anyone else. And people try and like mimic that, but they really got it right with this game. And like we talked about with DuckTales, using that pogo stick move that was inspired by DuckTales, the moveset that Shovel Knight has, the different enemies you encounter, just the vibe, my boy, it is so just crazy high octane. And this is some of the best chiptune music I've ever heard.
Yeah, no, I never even played through the entire game of Shovel Knight. I've played it with you a couple of times with the co-op mode, but this music track was always super awesome because it really feels like it encapsulates that NES era so like perfectly well, especially for the type of level that you're playing.
I feel like I could tell some people this is like a Mega Man track and they might believe me, but it has like its own like kind of medieval flair that Shovel Knight draws from, which is, you know, always been just the coolest mix. It's kind of like Mega Man where there's like different versions of things, like there's Plague Knight and Propeller Knight and Treasure Knight, but instead of robots they are like medieval knights. It's such a cool concept and something that definitely borrows from the great ideas of old while introducing a bunch of new stuff that really changes the flavor.
Yeah, no, it's
Shovel Knight, huh?
Solid. Makes me want to play it.
Yeah, no, it's a really fun game, and I think far and away probably the best indie game. Well, actually, now that I've played Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair, that might be. I mean, that game honestly feels like a AAA game. It's like just so well developed and so good. But Shovel Knight, man, is
it's like indie games kind of become they kind of become AA. You know, it's like Yacht Club is now like publishing games left and right. So it's like
Club.
So like, would the next Shovel Knight really be like an indie game, or would that be more of like a AA game? And I feel like that's the new like AA space. But like as far as like someone's first project, like a Kickstarter project that actually turned out this well from a studio being their first, you know, true game, I think that just everything in this game turned out so well, and they actually delivered on all their Kickstarter promises. What's that about, Trevor?
Oh my gosh, leave it alone. Leave him alone.
I'm still mad.
I hear you.
Finish the game, mean guy at Skullgirls Studio. Finish it yourself.
He's talking about the DLC characters they never included. I hear you, but this is a dope track, man. To your point, I hear you.
Indeed. All right, so moving on. at the perfect time. Trevor, take us to your last soundtrack.
This last one, so short, so sweet.
Approximately 6 seconds. So let's just listen to it and then we will discuss.
Did you hear the excellence of that? Play it one more time. Play it one more time.
What is that from? Mario?
Yes.
Which Mario game is that from?
It's from
Super Mario World.
Over. A screen I'm a little less familiar with.
Because I'm a gamer, man. I'm a gamer. No, it's just something.
I got my teeth kicked in by that game.
So short, sweet, and simple, but it's like, man, do you know how many different renditions people have made of that 6 second thing right there, Michael? Like, it's
that
so
lo-fi remix that's on YouTube. It's so good.
So many instrumentals, so many different remixes. Like that thing right there is legendary. That's my favorite game over sound ever. You know, I think I don't know. I like it. I know it's just a game over. Like, why would you even put that as a top 5 thing? But something about that, it's like, man, you just got beat. Oh, well, get back in there and try again, man. Like, I think if I had that thing playing in my life, every time I got a game over, I think game overs would have hit a little less hard. Like, it would have, all right, man, let's do it again. All right, man, let's do it again. Like, you know, so I love the sounds of that. I love the short, sweet, and simple sound of that game over screen. And obviously its influence. Obviously, I'm not alone. Otherwise, so many people wouldn't have made renditions and remixes and instrumentals of that just 6 second sound and extended that into these just masterful different renditions of it, you know?
And I gotta say, it stands out especially well with, like, there's a lot of music in Super Mario World that I find just kind of obnoxious and annoying. Like like I don't really like it, and but this little jingle and the Bowser World theme are like some of the standouts for that game. But I don't really like the music, which says a lot about like how awesome this game over jingle is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I almost want you to find the game over for Donkey Kong Country, the original one, because like there's some game over screens like that are just short and they're just really good, and it almost makes you want to lose the game just to like hear it. But that one's pretty good. But I love the one from DKC, man. It's just so like you get thrown in this jail basically, and they got bruises and bandages on them, and it plays this like really like hopeless music. Would you mind finding that for me real quick, Michael, since it's short too? No, not that. Not that. I'm talking about game over.
Yeah, it's
this.
Yeah, man, people, the younger.
I feel like somebody just got voted out on Survivor.
Right. Yeah, this is depressing.
Yeah, that's what you. But that's what I like.
The screen is super funny too, because DK and Diddy are like beat up. Diddy's got a black eye. Donkey Kong's covering his face. They got band-aids on them. It's kind of funny because like the younger segments of our audience will not know because games don't have game overs anymore.
Yeah.
Not really, anyway. Like Mario Odyssey doesn't have one.
Yeah.
So that's what makes these special, is that they've kind of expired. Like, I don't think Mario will ever have game over screens again. But this is just, you know, it'll always be with us.
You know, I don't even know why I had you play that game over screen for Trevor, because I know when he was playing through Donkey Kong Country, he must have seen it about 100 times. So
whatever. I definitely had that down. I definitely had that sound before, the whole balloon popping.
It'd be funny if someone played this while they were like announcing they're like serving you. You are being sued.
No, play it one more time, Michael.
Okay, I got you.
No more Fortnite.
Dude, you should make that into a TikTok sound. Actually, like mix that. But
well, now someone's gonna steal the idea. Edit that out of the podcast.
Oh, well, if they do, then you know
we're gonna Cottrello sue them.
Credit Cottrello Games.
We'll serve them the same way. We'll be on their doorstep, and Cottrello Games is suing you. Just defaulted on your mortgage.
Come on, one more time, please. One more time.
One more time. Please, one more time.
Give me Cottrello, bud.
What a great reminder to just, subscribe wherever you're listening to this and, leave a like or a comment or whatever you do on these apps.
For the 13 of you that have made it this far.
Squeeze some extra pennies out of this. That's our music where we just, don't have enough subscribers to sustain a healthy lifestyle. Gotta throw a little self-deprecation in there. Austin, where are we going from here?
All right, play the track.
Mjolnir?
This,
am I saying that right?
The Mjolnir mix
Take us to another nerd
Halo
track.
2 theme. Oh man, this sums up like the best of Xbox and the worst of Michael's singing. But
is this really the Halo?
Oh yeah, you remember the theme? This plays on the title
restart
screen,
this.
Dude, I know you've seen that thing with the dude. All the dudes were in the restroom, like singing the Halo track.
Is this?
And then the guitar. It's just like
this track does slap.
Oh yeah, no. This I was gonna say I didn't realize these were all part of the same track, but the Halo 2 main theme is pretty epic, dude.
It's so good. I mean, Halo for me was a pretty big deal. It was one of those games where it was one of the first like really engaging like epic stories of like just something far out of this world. And I'm big like sci-fi, Star Wars stuff like this, but this was something that it took a story that has our Earth, and it has like a reality that you can relate to, and then it takes this like epic battle against aliens on these Halo rings, and the song opening with this just kind of grandiose, like you just see the ring and it's glowing in space, and then you pull out your assault rifle and Master Chief just starts wrecking people left and right as the guitar comes in. Ugh. So good.
This is disgusting. Like, I'm gonna throw up. This is too good, man.
No, this is one of my favorites. And I played guitar growing up, and like this was like I got an electric guitar, and I'm like, this is the song that I got this guitar to play, and it was so satisfying. It just melts your face off, man.
Yeah, I always really liked this music track. It definitely made Halo 2.
And Halo 2 is special.
Yeah.
And shout out to some of the Halo music, like Halo 3, One Final Effort. That's one of my other honorable mentions, but this one just took the cake. Like this is probably my favorite video game song.
Yeah, dude, we were eating good in the early 2000s with like Melee coming out in 2001, Halo 2 coming out in 2004. It's just like, oh my gosh. And I just remember that being like a young teenager at that time, and we had it all, man. And games really haven't gotten much better or any better at all.
That's what I'm telling you, man. It was because with, Austin and Nathan, and then me and you, and then, with Trevor and David as well, with me and Michael, we just basically cycled back and forth between Melee and Halo 2. And I remember those Halo 2 just split screen 4-player. Now everybody like would lose their mind over a split screen game. That used to be the best, though, man.
And the best Halo we've had since Halo 2 came out is Halo 2 Remaster.
Yeah, seriously.
I just want more Halo 2.
My interest in the series just took a nosedive. Like, I played the third one, and then just like after that, I just did not really care anymore. It doesn't even have the same developer anymore. I'm hoping that this next one coming out for Xbox turns out well. Give me a reason to buy an Xbox for once in my life.
PC. Buy it on Steam.
We'll see. It's got the Fortnite mode, which is cool. Free multiplayer.
Free to play. Halo is something that, and maybe another topic for another time, is just storytelling in games. Is they built it up, and then it's like, oh, how do we end this as epically as we've told this story?
And also create endless sequels.
Yeah, but Halo 2 is just, it is the peak of the story. It is the peak of like, you're really starting to understand the gravity of what's going on. You're starting to see who Master Chief is. And then don't forget about Arbiter. Like,
oh yeah,
holy crap.
Yeah, his arc is so cool. And then the ending was like a cool cliffhanger. Like I was legitimately curious about what happened next, and then I just couldn't play through Halo 3 to find out.
Yeah. I know what you mean. But that song Forever, that would be my theme song at my funeral.
Oh,
you walk into this big empty room, my coffin has like LED strip lighting under it.
Austin's dead. Died in a fire.
And then he has on an active like Xbox at the open casket for people to like play as they say goodbye to him.
Oh my gosh! Austin will always be screen peeking.
We'll plan my funeral in another podcast.
Looks like you'll be screen peeking forever now, Austin, in the skies. There's a funny YouTube comment on that track that said, "Legend says when a man dies, his voice is added to the chorus."
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. All right, let's get into Matthew's track. But before that, I got to take another bathroom break. I'm sorry, guys.
My gosh, diabetes on full display.
All right, let's play Matthew's last track. Rickety Rails from Donkey Kong Country Returns.
Dude, so this is the level or the music that plays in the first minecart level of the cave world, and as you can tell, I love the music tracks that just feel really intense. The stakes are high. This music track is so epic. I don't know if you remember this level, Michael, but it's the one where you're like in this mine that's bombs are being thrown at you and everything's collapsing, and you have to keep riding minecarts to the next rail before your rail explodes or is destroyed. And so you're trying to get out of this cave that's collapsing. And it's like so epic to me, and that's one of my favorite Donkey Kong levels of all time.
Oh yeah.
It sounds like a 007 track or something, or Mission Impossible. That's what it sounds like.
I mean, it's kind of that vibe because, like Matthew said, everything is exploding, and that's what makes Country Returns such a step up from your typical 2D platformer. Because, 2D platformers might have elements where, in Mario, it's like, oh, the platform falls and it just floats in the air. No. Everything is standing up on stilts or it's connected by a vine. Everything has, a reason to be there, and it's crumbling before you as you play in the level. It's such a dynamic way of exploring a level that is really, honestly, just completely unmatched by any other 2D platformer, and it's not particularly close.
Yeah.
And then you got the slapping music on top of it, my boy, let's go.
Yeah. For some reason I can't hear it that well, but yeah, no, this music track is, the only thing that ruins it in that level is you get a lot of, bonus rooms that kind of take you out of the
music and the flow. Yeah, I think those games would be better without the bonus rooms, honestly.
This track, I never realized it until I thought about it, but this is definitely one of my favorite music tracks of all time, favorite levels of all time. It just, like I said, I just love the fact that you're getting out of this exploding cave or mine or whatever, and this is one of those minecart levels too, where Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong are actually standing up in the minecart, and so you're jumping from minecart to minecart. So you'll get to the end of a rail, and it's exploding, and you have to leap, perfectly time your jump to get to the next one, and then jump into a barrel that shoots you to another part before that wall blows up, and it's just so epic, dude.
Yeah, I have to agree. Very cool track. The Donkey Kong games are just an endless fount of music. Another franchise I feel like has really great music, and I will segue into my final pick, is Sonic. So this is, let me start over here. This is Sonic 2, the Sky Chase Zone music. This is the music that plays while you're trying to board Eggman's ship. It's honestly kind of a weird fit for what you're doing, because this is such a chill vibing soundtrack, and it's happening in one of the you're about to get into the last boss. But I just vibe to this, my boys. Just close your eyes and fly with me.
Yeah, whatchamacallit, I was actually surprised
those kick drums that the Genesis is famous for.
I was actually surprised you didn't have any more Sonic tracks, but I also thought maybe you'd have that Donkey Kong Country 2, the swamp music. I forgot the name of it, but that track's amazing. I was thinking it was going to be...
The runner-up for DKC2 music was Forest Interlude.
Yeah.
That's my other favorite. But Sonic is an endless fount of music. I mean, I could talk about the first beach level from Sonic Heroes. I could talk about Metal Harbor from Sonic Adventure 2. I could talk about
Chemical Plant Zone.
Even Sonic 06 has awesome music. Like with Sonic games, the music typically does not miss. You know, Sonic Colors, I'm excited to hear the remixes coming up for that. Like, we got Planet Wisp, we've got like every Sonic game I play, there's always one track that's just like, man, yeah.
Dude, Planet Wisp in Sonic Generations is great, and then in actually Sonic Lost Worlds, the Sky Zone or whatever that is, where I forgot what it is, but that's like one of the most amazing music tracks I've ever heard from a pretty overlooked game. But yeah, Sonic always...
Which one are you talking about?
It's one of the sky levels in Sonic Lost Worlds. There's like a dragon boss.
Dragon boss, sky level in Sonic. You said in Sonic Colors?
No, Sonic Lost Worlds.
Sonic Lost World. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Sonic Lost World has really good music too.
I think it's Sky Road is what it might be. Yeah, there's like tracks like that's like one of my favorite tracks too, and I'm not even really a big Sonic fan, but Chemical Plant Zone is amazing too. That one's just a classic.
Which, you know, like some other close runner-ups for Sonic music is like in the third Sonic game, they recruited Michael Jackson to do some of the music production, and some of the songs are parallel to Michael Jackson's songs in that, and I won't play them here because that gets us into a whole different trouble. But like, look it up on YouTube where people have mixed together certain Sonic tracks with their Michael Jackson song counterparts. He ended up not being credited because eventually he quit. He didn't really like the limitations of the Genesis, and there were some of those like allegations that were going on at the time that made Sega want to like kind of distance themselves from it. But for one reason or another, it just didn't happen. But you can hear Smooth Criminal in Ice Cap Zone. You can hear Jam in Carnival Night Zone. And what's insane about Sonic music is that you could have like someone as iconic and accomplished as Michael Jackson make music for the series, and it just like sits alongside of it, and it's like, yeah, that's more Sonic music. It's such an accomplished series in terms of music, and you know, people are too busy making memes and jokes about it to really recognize that. But Sonic is just an endless fountain of like awesome music.
Yeah, well,
but anyway, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, I just think it's more like all that stuff started to come from Sonic as it progressed into the 3D, sphere. But, you know, all the 2D stuff, man, I feel like is pretty well respected and, you know, rightfully so.
Yeah, and the Genesis, you know, I was talking about some of those limitations that systems have where, like, you can definitely feel the Genesis in this soundtrack, which is what I like about it. And we'll always, like, keep it different from anything else. Like, this sounds different than anything you would see on the Super Nintendo because it had a different chipset. It was capable of different things, but both of them were limited in some ways. So it's really interesting to see the different directions that these composers took with like very limited tool sets. But yeah, just I've always really vibed with this song in Sonic 2. This is fun. We should we'll do some follow-up episode to this, maybe once every few months or every year or something like that, with more music tracks, because it's just a special part of games. It's always surprising to me how good game music is, because I mean, you think of budgeting a game, you have to have the gameplay and you have to have it work. So you're like building software, you're building like an app, and then a lot of games now want the cinematic elements, so they're hiring actors, they're hiring like cinematographer type of people to make sure the camera's in the right place for the cutscenes and such. And then on top of that, all of that stuff, they're thinking of multiplayer, they're thinking of bug fixing, then they have to also build a soundtrack that can stand on its own. And it's just incredible to me that games have as good music as they do, considering all the budgetary limitations that you would have with composing music. And then you have to make music that people are willing to listen to for 30 minutes to an hour straight before the music changes. And that's just definitely just amazed me. And like I used in that example at the beginning of the episode with Paper Mario, the Origami King, is that it can really elevate an experience. There are like, there's a lot of parts of that game that I just don't really enjoy, but the music really brings it up a notch. So anyway, unless you guys have anything else to say.
No, man.
I was curious if you guys have listened to the greatest, I think it's called the Greatest Video Game Songs of All Time or something like that. It's the London Philharmonic Orchestra.
I have not.
Oh, that would be one of my recommendations after talking about all these great tracks, but they're all done as like with the whole orchestra get up. It's a great one.
I'll have to check that out sometime. Have to look at
I'll link it in my conversation to you.
But yeah, that's going to be the end of this episode of Cottrello Talks. I hope you enjoyed this different vibe and just hanging out with us. Your favorite topical games podcast, I'm sure, because no one does topical games podcasts. They all cover news, which nothing wrong with that, but we're trying to do something a little bit different, something with a little bit of sauce on top with Cottrello Talks. We'd really appreciate any support you have for us. Subscribe to our channels. We got Cottrello Plays, Cottrello Games, Cottrello Talks, the Cottrello Cinematic Universe for your enjoyment. But yeah, in the comments on the YouTube side of things, let us know one of your favorite game music tracks. We'll check it out. And which one of these did you like the most? Which one did you vibe with? Probably one of mine. I mean, I just have great taste. What can I say? But that's going to be the end of this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week for another episode of Cottrello Talks.